Hey everyone, you're watching Rooted and Rising, and we're here to talk about aging, healing, and everything in between. My name is Aisha Simons. I have over 21 years of experience as a licensed professional counselor, a mother, and also a wife. And I'm having honest conversations about what it feels like to grow older, to get better with time, and also to keep evolving. So let's get into it. I also want to add that these are only my opinions. So if you need to, please seek out your own professional advice through your local insurance company, crisis line, or personal therapist. So we know that as we get older, doctor's appointments can be a bit more challenging, right? I think that's because, oftentimes we might have more illnesses to deal with, more things to contend to. And I think in my situation, I see the doctor a little bit more often because I am also caring for my senior parent. And then in addition, I sometimes will go with my husband to his parents' doctor's appointment. So there's a lot of appointments to contend with, and with that comes having the ability to be more prepared for those appointments. So I understand how important it is to be prepared now. One incident that comes to mind is that when I went to my mom's doctor's appointment, I didn't realize that all of the doctors that she deals with aren't in one network. Some are outside the network and they utilize different electronic platforms to communicate, and they oftentimes don't get the same information. And so I'm sitting there in the office and we're talking about my mom's medications, and I had to provide a current list, and I'm fumbling through my phone trying to find this list while the doctor sits there patiently and waits. I think it's important to just kind of have that list ready to go because you're not sure if all the doctors have all the same and similar information. So I think that just kind of makes the vibe go a lot smoother. Another example is what my husband kind of shared with me recently, is that he went to a colonoscopy appointment, and one of the patients there was turned away from their appointment for the day because the night before they did not prep properly. And so they must have had a meal and then came in, and then the doctor said, hey, you can't get your colonoscopy done today because you actually had a meal the night before. So they did not properly prep. And if you know anything about colonoscopies, it's very important to prep for that. And I think what it did was that it just kind of delayed their treatment, and sometimes those appointments can be made out months in advance. So preparation is very important for these appointments. Okay, here are some things to do before your appointment and during your appointment. First of all, let's cut out the chit chat early on and really get down to business. I think it's only natural that we want to kind of have those relationships where we share personal information. I've done that myself. We talk about our children, we talk about vacations. And for me, I know that kind of getting into that, I lose sight sometimes of the important questions that I might have the night before. So going into that leaves me room to share that information first, get down to business, write down those concerns, and then we can kind of get into like how we're spending our time, our free time and vacation if we have time to do that. It's also helpful to come prepared to your appointments. I really appreciate when my clients will come in and they have important things they want to discuss first. Although I may have something I want to kind of get into in the session, you may have something that's a little bit more important or pressing, and having that when you come in is a great idea. Spending a little bit of time the night before thinking about maybe some questions you might have or something you want to kind of dive in is going to be great towards making a really good session. And I think the same applies to medical doctors. Thinking about what kind of symptoms you have and any important questions you might have. Prepare them the night before. It doesn't take too long, and you're ready to go. Okay, so granted that we are working with an older population, we have to consider that our parents may not have the wherewithal or the diligence to kind of do all of this prep work. So it's really a good idea to help them. Go through the medications, make a list with them, ask them the night before what kinds of questions they may have for the doctor so that you can kind of assist with that. and just kind of help them get ready for their appointments. Okay, remember to be honest about your symptoms. I've had clients who have seen me for a period of time and then they tend to taper off, and then I'll see them weeks later and I'll ask the question, what happened? Why did you miss your sessions? And they'll say, because I was feeling bad, I was going through a tough time and didn't want to schedule. And that really is the time to see me. Although I really appreciate and enjoy times when there's not much going on and you want to use it as a check-in session, that's beautiful. I also am here to be of service, and I really do want to hear if you're struggling. So that applies to also your medical doctor too. Going in and kind of being dishonest about what you're going through, or maybe even forgetting about it, it's not going to help them. So if you prep the night before and you kind of know your symptoms, or if you go in and you're being honest about your symptoms, that's really going to go a long way with them providing the best of care for you. So having a solid relationship with your doctor is very important. I think it really goes beyond just looking at your symptoms and getting a diagnosis and medication and then you're out the door. I think being honest really gives you time to build trust between you two, to be able to share good information. And I think being prepared for those appointments go a long way. So remember some important takeaway tips. Business first, chit chat later. Make sure you come in prepared and ready to go with doing your homework the night before. And also be as honest as you can with your doctor, letting them know any type of new symptoms that have come up, any concerns you have. It's going to go a long way to building your relationship. Okay, if you have any comments, thoughts, or stories to share of your own, please feel free to put them down below. I would love to read them. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.